According to Inuit in the Arctic, seasons are not demarcated by a fixed calendar, but by things we can hear in the rhythms of wildlife and environment. Scientists placed hydrophones at a seafloor recording location north of Alaska to record the sound of ice, ocean, and marine mammals throughout the year. This film captures the moment when a composer, a musician, and an oceanographer work together on a sonic exploration of one of the most inaccessible places to humans on Earth.
What makes the expression of the animals different? And how do we detect the difference? And one of those ways is the environment has this kind of steady state. And animals, inside of that big noisy environment, their expressions they're distinct. They're these they're individual distinct expressions in there. You know, the sea ice may go wee-o, 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 and the beluga may do it similar, but the beluga's going dilly-lily. And that's actually when we detect the difference and we identify what's living. It's actually, you can hear the individual expressions of the animals within the environment.
The thing about the wind and the connection between 3 and 4, it's something we've been discussing yesterday and we're trying out yesterday. I know it's not really true, but there is a third entity in the whole process of these seasons, which is humans listening. Which is microphones, which is somebody that went and seek for that. And in this situation, we are excluding that. And the thing that I find the more interesting in terms of what I do with what we do with the wind is that it's a very strong connection with humans. It's breathing. And the moment when there is no more audio, there is no more video, and I am not there anymore, I'm behind, just before changing my instruments, the echo effects, the delay effects goes away, and what is left is actually breathing for like a short second. And that to me is why the wind and everything before makes sense, because you finally get to a point when you realize it's almost the naked and dirty secret, or like beautiful secret of this place, is that there is somebody listening. There is somebody that is in the corner in the dark breathing and checking everything
beautiful.
else.
Actually, I love those moments when you were sitting. It's almost like a sculpture. When you sit there, you hold this instrument. What I feel most attractive of that image alone is that you're the performer, but you're the listener. And that really brings everyone into focus. What we're doing is as much about playing as about listening.
Of course.
Yeah, and you're actually curating the listening exercise here throughout the whole thing.
It's a very dynamic relationship when we have, because you are curating my listening.
Yes.
You're feeding me sounds, you're giving me material I can interact with. And I feel somehow I am trying to guide, to point people to listen to something. But at some point it becomes overwhelming. Like in season 5, there is so much to do. I don't have enough fingers. I only have one instrument. And so I keep bouncing back and forth, and becomes, to me personally, disorienting. And so if I manage to squeeze into the performance that feeling of, being cacophonic, being disorienting, being the multiplicity of what happens, then is the best thing I can do with only one instrument.
Yes.
I mean, if it was a string orchestra or a lot of players, we could share and make a different feeling of multiplicity. But I think that's because what you're doing, you're slightly overloading me.
Yes. The invisible hand behind all of this.
You're talking about the listener, bringing the person into it, but never in all of my world, in all of the work that I ever do I ever feel like I'm personally present in what we call data which is actually the environment,
Yeah.
than when we're listening together. And then it's sort of like that thing I keep coming back to, which is it's fine to send a rover or a robot to the moon or to Mars,
Sure.
but it's something that really we need and that's meaningful when we send a person there, when one person has stood there on the planet. And I never think of that except when I'm sitting here and listening to you. I was like, that's why it's so important.
I think listening
makes
is
it meaningful.
Like even when you
Bring
send
us
a
into
rover, even when you send a mic somewhere in the deep of the ocean, it's because you want to listen. It's because
That's right,
we
yeah.
want to be there.
You're sending the ear there.
Yeah.
You're sending an extension of us.
Our way of observing the ocean is you record sounds. And so it's a whole environment of sound. And we just have a single underwater microphone that goes to a single stream of data. We call it data. And you take the whole thing and just pack all of the whole environment into this sort of cake of data. But it's when we, just through this process of listening with you and listening together and hearing you actually hear it, pull individual signals and sounds out and express them, it's sort of like all of a sudden you put water on that compressed cake of data, and it can come back out and be in the three-dimensional real world again. And it just reminds me of, just like the tea leaf unfolding. It starts a little cake, and you just put the water on it, and back comes the flower of
That's very
with
true.
all
Yeah.
the fragrance, and it just